So peace and blessings. In this corner box is 24. I got back on real quick because I want to make a correction. If I make a mistake, it's always proper to make a correction as quickly as possible, as soon as I notice the error, okay? So I mentioned an early stoppage in the co-main event on the ESPN card last night, the main event being Teofimo Lopez versus Pedro Campa. And this co-main event was Xander Zayas, young prospect coming out of Puerto Rico, who's 14-0 with 9 KOs, and he fought Elias Espadas, who's 22-5 with 15 KOs. And that was the fight. I got the name wrong. His name is Elias Espadas, not Ocampo, okay? So I just wanted to make that correction. And that fight, to me, was an early stoppage. He had put him down in the fight, and then the second knockdown, he got up. He caught him with a right hand. And he got up, and he walked towards the ref, and the ref just waved him off. And that was an early stoppage. You know, boxing is better than that, man. Okay, you got to give these guys a chance, man, to recover. Okay, yeah, he was hurt, but he wasn't hurt to the point where he couldn't fight no more, because he stood up and he walked toward. As soon as he stood up, he just waved him off. He started walking toward him, like he just waved him off. He didn't even give him a chance. He wasn't hurt like that. Okay, he didn't take a whole lot of punishment. So that was an early stoppage. All right, and that's why I use that as a reference to say that the stoppage with Lopez and and Pedro Campa was a good stoppage, because he was actually hurting him. He had knocked him down, but he was actually beating him up, and he caught him with some good shots before that last knockdown. And so when he got up, you know what I'm saying, you could tell that he was pretty much done. And he didn't protest. He didn't even say anything. You know, so that's different. But when you got a guy that gets up, man, and he's walking towards you, and you just wave it off just like that, so quick, like the ref did, and that's, you know, that messes boxing up, man. You know what I'm saying? So boxing, it has to be better than that, man. We have to give these guys a chance to fight, okay? We can't do that, you know? And when we go back and we look at the history of boxing, and we look at the stoppage of Meldrick Taylor when he fought Chavez, when all Richard Steele had to do was call the action back in. It was only seconds left, right? I think 8 or 10 seconds to that fight. And as soon as Chavez would have got back across the ring and even attempted to throw a punch, the round was over. But he just called Meldrick Taylor off. Bad stoppage, because he had won the whole fight. He won that whole fight. So he lost that fight because Richard Steele didn't just let the action resume, man. Okay, and so we got bad decisions over the years in boxing, man. And it seems like it's still happening with these early stoppages and not giving somebody a chance to win. We saw it as well a couple of weeks ago. I like Gary Antoine Russell, but Barthélemy, with that ref, early stoppage. He got up. He walked towards the ref. He was good. He wasn't shaking, you know, he wasn't stumbling, nothing. And he stopped it. I mean, come on, man. We the fans, we all seeing that. And then the arena was on fire, because it was like, yo, that was the early stoppage, and they were booing. But they were booing the ref even more because of that stoppage, man. Okay? That's the kind of stuff, man, that affects people's careers. So now he got a loss. Sure, I believe Gary Antoine Russell was going to finish him if the round had resumed, and definitely in the next round. Okay? But sure, he was going to finish him because he was on top of him. But he wasn't done in that round. That's the point. So these refs have to start being more calculated, man, and fair. As a ref, you got judges and you have ref, but a ref is similar to a judge. You know, see, the judges in boxing, I mean, they just scoring the fight, but you as the referee, you have to judge the actions of the fighter and his movements or non-movements. And when you see somebody get right up and he's ready, you don't stop that fight unless he say, no, I'm good. Or you see him, out of it, his eyes, you looking at his face and you see him still stumbling and he's just not steady. Then I get it. But when this guy gets up, man, and you tell him to stand up, you say, walk towards me, and he walk towards you, or you say, walk this way, walk that way, and he does that, man, don't stop that fight, man, because you affect his whole career. He might not get that chance again. All right, so again, it's no knock on Gary Antoine Russell because he came to fight and he came to do what he had to do. But even his brother, Gary Russell Jr., said, was it an early stoppage? I'll say that. But my brother was going to jump back on him. He was going to finish him. And he's right. I believe that. Okay? But judges, man, got to do better. The boxing commissions have to get on top of these judges, man, and make them do better and critique them on these early stoppages. All right? So I just wanted to say that. Peace and blessings. In this corner, Boxing 24. And I just wanted to make that correction on that Xander Zayas and Elias Espadas fight. Okay? Peace and blessings.